All right. Well, thank you all very much. I'm reading that, and that's just I'm just one of five, and everyone up here is very busy all the time. And yeah, I played a role in some of those things, and it's our honor to do so. I do have a couple thoughts here that I put together. I missed almost all that stuff. I didn't really take notes throughout the year, but definitely this has been a very extremely busy year for all of us up here. I remember about a month or two into it, I get a call from my friend here. You told me this is only going to be X number of hours a month. It's like triple that, or a week, I mean, right? And so I've had to do a lot of coffee buying to make up for that. But we had a lot of things handed to us that were kind of extraordinary. It's been a year full of challenges and changes and tough decisions and milestones for our city. And the main thing I want to do, at least first all, is thank my family who are here up front, with the exception of these two right here. They think they are right here, but they're stealing the chair. You may as well be. But we have my mom, her husband Pete right here, my daughter Bethany, my son Blake, my dad Greg right there, and of course my son Brandon and his family are watching via live stream from Dyess Air Force Base in Texas right now. And we have Cameron right there looking into the little tablet there. He joined the family a little over a month ago. So thank you all for everything. I know it's sometimes when Dad can't be there as much as I'd like to be, you step up and you roll with it, and I appreciate that. So I'm definitely proud to have played a part of all of this, and thank the council for the opportunity to serve you as your mayor. And 2019 was definitely extraordinary in that it presented an inordinate amount of administrative related tasks to be addressed. They all took a great deal of time, a lot of research and scheduling, and from what I understand is probably an unprecedented amount of special council meetings. We definitely don't shy away from that. We discussed early on that one of our collective frustrations with government is how long things take, and if we happen to have an idea or something that needs to be done a day or two after a council meeting, we're not really into waiting for 2 more weeks just for propriety's sake, so we'll call a meeting. And we've done that many times, and I think we've proven that, and it's worked out well for us. So our main function here as a council is to set policy for the city, and that in turn contributes in setting the tone to be carried throughout our organization. This council has proven time and again that it is dedicated and driven to do so by doing the right thing for the right reasons, even when it involves those long hours and tough decisions, sometimes very tough decisions. I'm proud of that. I think we all should be, and I'm proud to have worked with you guys because it's not easy, but you got to do it, and we did. We began 2019 by making one of the best decisions we made, in my opinion, as a council, and that is to appoint Diana Langley as our interim city manager. Definitely a good call there. So Diana, I can't even express, we could have a whole meeting about you and my respect and our respect for you and the job you did and the leadership you provided, and we really appreciate it. So with Diana's input, her leadership, and her experience, we tackled many other challenges, including a realized and anticipated turnover, of 3 positions on our executive team. Recruiting and hiring our new city manager, sitting over there, Mr. Michael Rock, our budget process, and the discussion surrounding our beloved contract with Recology at Yuba City. That was always fun. But the role of your mayor is simply that. It's a role. And one of my main roles that it takes to move things forward, but everyone has their own role, and nothing could have been accomplished or possible without the hard work and dedication of every city employee. And today, I think, is your night. Tonight, I want to publicly, wherever the TV camera is right now, I want to celebrate our city staff, because I tell you what, they work so hard, and they're so professional from every level, from Mr. Rock and Shannon over there, all the way down to the newest employee. Dedicated people, and we really appreciate the hard work you do. Excuse me. I want to recognize also our finance director, Robin Bertagna, who retires soon. She's the one that was really enthusiastic about the Pledge of Allegiance today. So that was good. She's retiring this month after 21 years, very well deserved. And I tell you what, you have a very good replacement here in Spencer Morrison, stepping up to fill Robin's very big shoes. But Spencer, we're looking forward to working with you too, and congratulations to you in your new role. And Robin, congratulations to your retirement. Where's Rob Landon? Rob Landon, our fire chief. Our police chief stepped up as fire chief. So basically that becomes a public safety director, I believe is what we gave him. Stepped up. He took it without hesitation and doing a fine job. And so, Rob, thank you very much for that. And I could go on and on all the way down the line, but I'm going to stick with the E-team for now. We do have a yet-to-be-filled position in Development Services. We're looking forward to meeting that new person. Definitely a lot of work to do there, but that's definitely something that's going to be exciting. We have an opportunity to really make some positive difference in streamlining processes in our city. I also want to thank and recognize, and I can't go everybody name by name. I know some of you are here today, I saw Tony, but all the members of our city boards and commissions. They step up on a volunteer basis and play a very important role to keeping the city moving forward and providing input and direction and their opinions on. There's Tony right there. And we really appreciate that. So I want to make a point of recognizing that. A little bit more on our city staff. I tell you, I can even say so on a personal level, even when it comes down to, what did I have here? I had a problem tree in my yard. I got bit by a feral cat, all the way down to signing Cameron up for basketball. Every time I would call, they'd be very professional, very, very courteous and helpful, above expectations. And I mean, every time that I would do that. And I really appreciate that. And I didn't tell them who I was either, by the way. So it's all good. I mean, it was like a secret shopper almost, unintentionally, but they really do a great job, and I really appreciate that. I want to publicly revisit that again. It's also important, as a member of council, we represent our city externally. We've done so on the trip to Washington, D.C. during the Cap to Cap annual trip. I happen to have the opportunity to do so through the Beale Military Liaison Commission, advocating for Beale Air Force Base at the Pentagon, primarily focusing on reciprocity between spouses and then other housing issues for Beale. And also in our state capitol, down as a member of the Sacramento Area Council of Governments, which is a very, I think, a critical presence that we have down there to be represented as far as getting funding for our area, specifically regarding mobility and transportation issues. I also locally here, I had the honor of serving as chairman of the Sutter Buttes Flood Control Agency, which is very squared away, run by Michael Bissett, and a very dedicated board as well, to where we're working on 200-year flood protection here in Yuba City, focused on our West Feather River levee, eventually moving down to the bypass, working on the Oroville Wildlife area as well. A lot of projects there, very busy organization, and they're doing a great job. I was happy to be a part of that. We've done our very best over the last year to hear the voice of our residents, not only to be out there, but actually to listen, but then act on that. It was mentioned before on this proclamation here that we had a meeting regarding the PERS unfunded liability. I'm proud of that, and thank you, Dave, for your professionalism and your participation in that. Thank you, Phil, for the suggestion, and Elaine for your participation. And Pat, everybody who shows up, I really appreciate that. We may or may not find the golden goose. However, as a community, we came together, and we're going to put some recommendations down to Sacramento and try to get some things done. Even yesterday, we had a meeting regarding impact fees of local developers. Why do we have that? Because we want to hear from the developers. We actually do care. We want to work, and it's going to take some work, to make a difference in that. So we can be truly demonstrate that we are business friendly, so we can get some projects moving here in our city. Collectively, we've all spent a great deal of time out in the community interacting with the public and developing relationships, and many of those are on a personal level, and still others are professionally. We enjoy, in my opinion, excellent relationships with all of our representatives in Washington, D.C., Sacramento, and all of our local municipalities. There's rumor out there that we don't get along, and I tell you what, I don't see it. And if there was a rumor, I think we've probably changed that dialogue, because it's clear that we all want the same thing, and that's the betterment of Yuba Sutter. We all have responsibility here in Yuba City, but for the collective good, I really believe that is the case with our elected officials and our community leaders out there. Then we have others like relationships with Beale Air Force Base, even Rick Ross and the the head guy out at Venice Health in Marysville. Very, very positive gentleman, very professional gentleman, and we're happy to have him and his staff, very professional staff, partnering with them as far as health care for our residents. So developing these relationships, it's important that we understand that as politicians and just as community members, that not only to improve our efficiency, but to work on relationships within the council so we can collectively be able to hear you and really hear you. It helps us as your representatives, and especially when we go to establish our main job, establishing policy, goals, and priorities. While we may not always, well, we won't always agree, but and that's just the way it is. We've all been in the 1 zone, 2 zone, and 3 zone, if you will, and a lot of times we have unanimous votes. But that is not taken personal, because that's why there's 5 of us. That is the process. That is what we have to deal with, and we don't take it personally. We do so with respect of each other's opinions, and we do so with professionalism. And that's, it's a nice thing to be able to sit here publicly and be able to say that and mean it, because it makes such a huge difference. We don't have a lot of contention up here. Again, we don't necessarily always agree all the time, but that's okay. And we roll with it and continue our eye on the bigger picture. It's hard to believe 3 years have gone by. Still have 1 more year on the term, but it's amazing how fast it goes once it's over. During the middle of it, especially in the first couple months of this year, it was pretty interesting. But we do okay. I'm going to conclude. I don't want to take too much time. I thought this was going to be about 3 minutes. I think I may have gone a little bit longer, but I hope I haven't forgotten anyone or anything. If I did, I can't go through everything, but it certainly wasn't intentional. But my main thing here is I want to thank my family. I want to thank my fellow council members, and I want to thank city staff for all the hard work and dedication that you've done. I know there's been a lot of uncertainty that comes with change, not only mayor, but city manager, and then 3 positions in the executive team. It's human nature to speculate, right? And people become uneasy and not knowing what's going on. I want to make a point of recognizing that our city staff and our leaders in our city staff have shown that leadership to their staff below, and they've endured that speculation, that uncertainty, and we weathered through it successfully. I think we might still have a little bit of work to go, but it's important that I think we recognize and acknowledge the fact that that's not easy, and we appreciate it. So I sincerely thank all of you for the opportunity to contribute to our city as your mayor. And, as your mayor and as a council member and as a member of our community here for what, the rest of the world may know as Yuba City, but we all fondly know as home. And I appreciate that. And thank you very much for the opportunity. That's it. All right. Thank you. Now we have